these two guys have been going the distance here. Dog's been dominant all over the world, but strap in, boys. Game number 5 is getting underway right now, and I can tell you, none of these guys want to drop a game to each other. And Ostkaka going back to Druid, it picked him up the win in game number 1. Dog, he's going back to a Warrior. This looks like a disaster.
Yeah, and he's got the Wild Growth in his opening hand here, and his mulligan pretty much didn't change really anything. And that's a Harrison.
Yep. Now the rest of his hand doesn't look too good.
Well, I mean, he's got Azure Drake to kind of cycle through a card. You know, he's got a big game Hunter to maybe apply some pressure early if he wants to, but Dog does have an answer in a Fiery War Axe. Keeper of the Grove, not terrible in this matchup, not great. I mean, it can silence a couple minions, but usually it's the only ability that matters, which you might even see him just do here.
Well, you also might see him Harrison Jones. I mean, 2 cards off of Harrison is a mighty tempting
yeah,
offer.
It's really hard to pass up Harrison here, but, you know, the coin is pretty important to his curve. That's the only thing that might stop Ostkaka here. You know, he doesn't have a play for turn 6 besides, you know, just playing another 5-drop. He might just want to play like Lotheb into Dr. Boom or Azure Drake into Dr. Boom or Harrison Jones, depending on what happens here. Because, you know, Dog might give him a charge here. And if that happens, Ostkaka might hold on to it for a death fight.
Yeah. Second Acolyte is a possibility here. I think it's the most likely play. You know, if Ostkaka's silencing this on turn 4, obviously it means something to him.
Now, since this play is happening, I got to believe he's going to play a different 5-drop here this turn.
Well, that's a pretty good one. That is protected from everything aside from if your opponent has like Inner Rage, Cool Taskmaster, a Slam. I guess
Execute.
there's a pretty darn big range here.
Yeah, Execute, but you get a bunch of cards out of them. You don't just get 1 for 1.
Is there a world where he charges the 1/3 Acolyte?
I think it matters if he thinks he can win the game from that spot. Like if you charge there, Dog only gets 1 card, right? And then you follow this up with Dr. Boom the turn after that, depending on if he death bites or not. Because if he death bites, then you Harrison Jones.
I think Lotheb's fine too. You shut off Inner Rage, you shut off
it shuts
Executes.
Off a lot of the ways a 2 for 1 to kill you. Yeah. Speaking of.
Well, I guess you don't shut off Inner Rage. You can still cast it, but it uses his whole turn.
Yeah, I mean, you're okay if they're using 5 mana to play an Inner Rage.
Yeah, it's going to be Armorsmith instead, and these guys are getting traded in. So, not a surprise to see. Yeah, this is the reason he attacked first, by the way. I mean, a lot of spots you may look at this and wonder, why exactly didn't he attack with the Fiery War Axe first? The reason is because if he draws a Frothing Berserker, it's running into play.
Great sequencing from Dog there.
So, ahead on board, Ostkaka's got a stacked hand. But even Dr. Boom doesn't look that good here. I mean, the Frothing Berserker is challenging this.
Yeah, I mean, what he can do here is he can wait to either big game Hunter the Frothing Berserker next turn, or he can charge a Druid of the Claw in now.
It's just so scary.
It's like Emperor Thorson. This guy has pseudo taunt.
It's like Emperor Thorson.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like that kind of card with the effect it has. It just has pseudo taunt.
It's just funny to hear. Ostkaka going to trade in his coin for Wild Growth. Wants to stay ahead on curve for these next couple turns. Well, just right behind it. Why not?
Well, yeah, I'll say that if he wants to, he can Warsong Commander and Frothing Berserker here, but I don't know if that's what you need to be doing here.
I honestly think that Grim Patron and Inner Rage is just totally fine.
Yeah, Druid has a hard time dealing with Grim Patron.
Very hard time.
Yeah.
Like outside of like 2 Wraths or a swipe and a Wrath, he's just not getting through this board.
Azure Drake into Swipe.
He's got to have 9 mana for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is a little short, but it is one of the answers because...
Whoa. This is a surprise to me. But this is like his read right now. If he doesn't think his opponent has a Wrath or a Swipe, he can just go for the Warsong Commander. And honestly, the Warsong Grim Patron combo isn't integral in this matchup.
Well,
the big story is that you're just trying to get board advantages.
Well, the other thing here is, what does Ostkaka kill if he kills something on this board?
Well, the Warsong Commander.
Yeah, he kills the Warsong Commander, but then you still have Grim Patron behind that with Inner Rage. So then your Frothing Berserker lives and gets gigantic.
Yeah, that was exactly the point I was alluding to here as well, is that the charge on the Grim Patrons, obviously it's important, but in this matchup, it's more important to just be able to keep that card rolling.
Yeah, you don't need it to win. You don't have to make 7, charging Grim Patrons in 1 turn to win.
Right. And you can see that it's not even really important for the Frothing Berserkers. He's been making those as tempo plays and trying to just proactively answer what Ostkaka's doing.
Yeah, we've seen Zalay do this all season in this deck as well. They play it very aggressively. If you're Ostkaka, what do you do here?
Dr. Boom and hope, I think. But
yeah, that's what I was
your opponent
thinking.
just played a Warsong Commander. I don't know. This is a spot I'm glad I'm not in. I probably, at the end of the day, roll my eyes, vomit in a bucket, and then use Savage Roar to kill the Warsong Commander.
Yeah, let's say you have Savage Roar plus your hero power. You can take care of Warsong Commander and play a BGH. And I'll say whatever he's doing, he's got to do it fast.
Yep. Not able to answer this turn. And he's going to get a rude awakening from this one.
Yep, it's going to be a pretty big turn from Dog here.
It's only going to get bigger.
Oh, boy.
Another tough spot. The difference is that all of his options look good, where all of Ostkaka's options look bad.
You're like, which flavor of winning do I want to try today?
Do I want pistachio winning? Do I want salted caramel winning?
I do love me some pistachio, by the way.
You're wearing a pistachio-colored shirt. I would assume so.
Oh, I just realized that. You're right.
I didn't realize I put on green today.
Yeah. They all look the same at this point.
Tannen's colorblind.
I am actually colorblind.
Are you really?
No.
Oh. Slam first, Inner second. Isn't going to Inner the Grim Patron. That is very interesting to me.
Just digging as deeply as possible.
I mean, I guess if you're going to get 4 cards, this is the one trade-off you could have made.
He's got all these things queued up as well. Yeah. His work may be done, but he's going to get these attacks in.
So 6 power. This is actually an interesting spot now for Ostkaka. This is probably one of the ways that he could have gotten back into this game. Gets to take out the Warsong Commander, gets to Big Game Hunter, the Frolic Berserker.
Yeah, this is a great turn here.
Yeah, this looks not too bad anymore.
Yeah, and Dog, did you see his reaction to that one?
Yep. When your opponent Savage Roars that fast after the turn they just took, you know that it's there.
Yeah, you know you're getting BGH'd.
But still pretty much in full control of this game. 2-4 isn't a big board presence, but look at what he's got behind it. Emperor Thorson, slam, execute, and then the damage is going to start pouring in. He's got Grim Patron set up with a Deathbite. This has to be Harrison Jones. That's really the biggest thing that could happen to Dog. He's nodding his head. Just knew it was there.
Yeah, Ostkaka, man. What a recovery here in this game.
How does he handle it at this point? This has to be Emperor Thorson. I guess it doesn't have to be. You did just draw Unstable Goal.
Yeah, but do you want to save that for your Grim Patron turn? Yeah, you're running out of Whirlwind effects.
Yeah.
I don't hate Emperor because then it allows you to start doing some crazy turns with like Grim Patron, slam at Grim Patron, play Unstable Goal, like have all kinds of things that you can do.
Look at the differences in demeanors, by the way. This is what we've seen from Ostkaka all season, just kind of stone-faced. And Dog, we talked about how much he's been enjoying himself, but the fact that he's stressing out about this match tells you the kind of respect he has for Ostkaka.
Absolutely, yeah.
You can't take this opponent lightly. It's just, he's so good.
Yeah, he's gonna set up a good Unstable Goal here, it looks like.
Now let's execute, run in, and Emperor, I think. Yeah, he wants to protect this as much as he can. Hopefully a good drop for him. Explosive Sheep, not the greatest, but not the worst.
Yeah, a Savage Roar lets it trade with an Emperor Thorson if he wants to.
Oh, Dog's got the power right now. Not a ton of cards in hand, though, so still working with a little bit off the top of his deck. And meanwhile, Ostkaka's hand is stacked.
Were you a He-Man fan when you were a kid?
Of course.
I mean, who wasn't really, though, right?
Losers.
The first time I heard that card when someone played it, I was just like, wait, what? I went and looked it up to see if that was exactly what he was saying.
That's what he said, right? I'm remembering this 22 years ago, right?
Yeah. No, I went and looked up what Emperor Thorson. I wanted to make sure that's what he was saying. I was like, maybe I misheard, you know? maybe my brain like reverted to my 8-year-old self that would just gotten giddy with like this and been like, oh yeah.
See, I did the opposite. I was pretty sure it was, but I was like 6, 7 years old.
Yeah, I may have been like 4 when I was watching He-Man. Yeah. I even liked the live action movie from the 80s, man.
I liked the remix of the Four Non Blonde song, He-Man.
Oh God.
That's one of the great. That's a daily watch for me.
I'll tell you this right now. Anyone listening, if you haven't seen the live action He-Man movie, it's called Masters of the Universe. So do yourself a favor, go find it on DVD. It is a delight. It's got Dolph Lundgren in it. I mean, he was Mr. Universe. It's got Courtney Cox in it from before she was with Friends. I mean, you can't miss with this movie.
Ostkaka's actually going to leave the Emperor alone and just create board tension with the Sylvanas.
Yeah, maybe he thinks Dog's hand isn't very good. You gotta love seeing shield block being the first one out immediately.
Well, the other thing too is that keeping the Savage Roar gives him a little bit extra reach. So his game plan here, I think, is to start fighting the attrition battle with Dog 1-for-1, and then once he gets to a big board state, like, I mean, if he makes his play, he believes he can keep the board state. I don't think there's any question. I think he's got to trade with his Sylvanas first.
All right, picking up Whirlwind is pretty good. He's going to allow him to have a big turn here. Got to find that Warsong Commander. He might actually need it this game.
What a standoff.
Yeah, I know, right? God, Ostkaka, what a recovery in this game. I mean, it looked so bad for a turn or two. You know, he just had to leave the Frothing Berserker and Warsong Commander in play for a return. That's the scariest thing I've ever seen.
See, I'm picturing Emperor Thorson versus Sylvanas, like, in the wake of a battle right now.
Yeah.
And are they willing to fight?
Yeah.
Well, if they fight, they die. It's, you know, the animation's a little anticlimactic. But Dog's got a wonderful position here.
Yeah, he's going to make a lot of Grim Patrons. Just hope it's good. You know, the sheep, not so much right now.
Okay, that I don't know the order of operations for the sheep and the death rattles and the grip. I actually never have seen this interaction before.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah, that's getting traded in. Was gonna cast a spell. Oh, innervate. Sweet, I can kill 2 Grim Patrons.
Oops. You actually just upgrade Dogs at Grim Patrons. It's like, thanks for the upgrade, bro.
Still in pretty decent shape to win this one, though. You know, sure, he is behind on board right now, but he can clean up some of this. He can get a 5/5, pick up some extra cards.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to leave Dr. Boom in play right now.
Yeah, I don't think you're booming right now.
Yeah, he can use some of his life total here, take care of one of these Grim Patrons as well, leaving Dog with only 2. But Dog does have an unstable goal to kind of like hold you off a little bit here.
I'm surprised that both these guys have such high life totals, too.
I like this.
Yeah, so Ostkaka actually is going to Dr. Boom this turn.
Yeah, he's going to take care of the 3/3 here.
Yep.
I like this line actually a lot.
This is beautiful. Here comes the boom, ready or not. Those boom bots poised to do some work. So Dog, now I think Dog now is officially in trouble.
Now he's officially in trouble?
He's
like
officially in trouble.
Finally? All right.
Like, the stamp has been made. He has no way to make more Grim Patrons. He has no Frothing Berserkers left. His hand is, I mean, this is pittance at this point.
This is something we saw Jab do earlier in the season where, you know, he ran someone out of things to do in Grim Patron. He ran them out of all their ways to win.
It was actually, wasn't it versus Dog?
I think it might have been, actually. Yeah. I mean, it was like 2 months ago. It was like very early in the season. Maybe like 5 weeks ago. But.
It was in 1446 BC that Jab defeated Dog. I don't see a good line of play here. I guess Warsong Commander, Unstable Ghoul, run into the Dr. Boom, clear out the Boom bots in the Dr. Boom. Maybe you leave yourself with a Warsong Commander afterwards. Maybe you can couple Armorsmith with that.
Yeah, but I mean, how does he win from there? I think that's what Dog's realizing, that he just can't win anymore.
That's really the big story. So he's going to go for it. He's moving in damage.
Yeah, he has a Death Spite left in his deck, right?
Yep. That's really, this is the mark of a great player too, is when someone gets to this position and they can't actually, well, that's...
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is an oh boy moment. But I kind of...
Ostkaka's eyes actually just got big. That's like a huge reaction from him.
I want to talk about this play though, because Dog is running out of damage. He doesn't have ways to continue reaching Ostkaka. Sure, he can deal with this board, but just like you said, how does he win after that? This is honestly a beautiful play. Start pushing, hope that you get the right draws and that you can end this game. This was the only way he was going to possibly win this game 5.
Plus, you never know. He could have Grom in his deck. We see it in there sometimes. You know, some people are still playing it in there, but not very common. But he might actually be out of ways to deal large amounts of damage to Ostkaka, so he has to get in the 6 there because he's not going to find a better spot.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. So double ones.
Like, it feels like he just wants to Ancient of Lore this turn more than anything else.
If he's ever gaining 5 here.
Just playing around Grom, like, just in case the craziest things happen. He is going to gain 5 and just play super safe. It looks like, oh, he's going to draw 2. Never mind.
Yeah, drawing 2. It's a very Ostkaka play. Full control now. What, I mean, Dog has to have Grom in his deck or has to draw Death Spite like right now.
Yeah, I think there might be a Death Spite left over. He's just going to cycle this to get another card and get a little extra damage here.
2 swipes. 3 upstairs. 12. He's got 20 damage available next turn. So
oh, I love this play from Ostkaka too, because if
wait a minute. I thought that Dog had already used his other Grim Patron.
I thought so as well, but this plays around the Grim Patron, him getting rid of the boom bot there. So now Dog can't Warsong Commander into Grim Patron and make more.
Oh my gosh. I had assumed he had already used the other one.
I thought so as well. Do we just miss that? He used both Frothing
Berserkers. That's what he used, yeah. Wow, this is suddenly winnable. 12, 18, 22. Just a couple points off. Well, it's all up to fate at this point. If Dog's going to win this, he needs to pull some extra damage.
Yep, it's going to be an Emperor Thoros on. Yeah, because there's no Frothing Berserker to be had here where you can just deal 20 in 1 turn.
Yep. Unless Ostkaka doesn't remember that. I mean, we didn't remember the unstable.
Yeah, but I feel Ostkaka is gonna have this down.
Well, he's gonna use Force of Nature first. Just wants to add the pressure on. Force Dog to have to win this turn.
Well, we saw him do this last night. Saw him draw perfect in the last turn.
It's got to be perfect right here. Nowish Inventor is not too perfect, right. So now,
he can survive though, right? Well,
no,
he doesn't know about the swipes, but I'm saying he can survive in his mind with Unstable Ghoul, Armor Smith. Maybe even set a patron behind that. 5, 6,
I mean,
8,
I guess
9,
he could
10.
just play the Armor Smith and start running minions in, and keep a high life total. But then once again, he's in a position. How does he win?
Yes, if you Warsong into Unstable Ghoul, Armor Smith, Grim Patron, you gain a ton of armor, make some Grim Patrons, and you have a Taunter in play. But does that keep you alive? I mean, maybe you draw and execute off this Nowish Inventor here.
Dog decides it's not enough, so he's going to go for.
That's going to be not enough.
Runs in right now, gets the extra armor. This 5/3 is biting the dust. It's got to be biting the dust. It's not going to be enough though. Dog tries to stay alive as well as he can, but with 2 swipes in hand, Ostkaka has got this one locked up. He's going to take a 5-game set over Dog, and Dog, maybe the beginning of a sweat for him. He needs 1 more match to clinch a spot.
Not just that. If Dog were to have some kind of collapse here, if he were to lose all of his games, it's going to create some gigantic, multi-way ties. And you're going to see all hell break loose at that point.
I'm not going to put that juju on Dog. I think he's got plenty more matches to lock this one up. But right now, Ostkaka is the man of the hour. Number 15 taking out number 1 in the standings at the moment. What a big match for him.